everyone. I just recorded a Fatlogic video in which my mic did not work right. God damn it. So it looks like I'll be re-recording that, but I'm gonna do that on a different day because I can never re-record things back to back and have it turn out decent. So I'm gonna leave that for another day. Today, though, there was something that I've never really looked at on the Fatlogic subreddit that I thought might be fun to look at today, and that is the Fat Rant Fridays. This one is, I think, about like experiencing fat logic in the wild. So I thought we might read just a couple of experiences of these people and have some fun. Let's see. A friend of mine has put on 100 plus pounds due to her medication and went from being concerned and talking about trying to lose that weight to insisting that she doesn't need to and that she loves her body as is now. She also refuses to buy clothes that actually fit her, squeezing into all of her old pre-weight gain clothes until they rip and walking around in half-buttoned, zipped, etc. items of clothing, insisting that it looks fine and it's all her favorite store's fault that she doesn't fit into their clothes anymore. Her doctor diagnosed her with diabetes and she insists he doesn't know what he's talking about. I think she's just in denial and I feel bad for her, but it's exhausting to be around, especially if we're hanging out and she spends the entire time complaining that she's hungry, even though I've seen her eat 3 meals worth of food over the course of an hour. Yeah, this doesn't sound like full-blown fat logic just yet. It sounds like she's heading in that direction, but right now it seems like she's upset. And you say it's due to her medication, and maybe her medication is just making her hungrier. But then it's like, I've seen her eat 3 meals worth of food over the course of an hour. That's what's making her gain weight right there. But the wearing the old pre-weight gain clothes and being mad that she can't fit into her favorite store's clothing stuff anymore, it sounds more like a level of denial and maybe pretending it doesn't exist so it'll go away, or saying it's not her fault and it'll go away and things will change. How, like, it does just sound like a level of denial to me, not quite full-blown fat acceptance shit just yet. I know it's not Friday, but it's on Friday, and I ate a whole bag of Cheetos in one sitting. I'm not fat now, but a couple years ago I was overweight and getting there. I suffered from binging when I was a teen, which turned into binge restrict and then full-blown restriction and purging in my early 20s. I'm about 24 and would love to leave my years of toxic eating behind. I don't want my mid-20s, nay, the rest of my life, to be consumed with this long, painful cycle of disordered eating. Guess what? The Cheeto binge triggered a purge. I consumed laxatives. I was restricting a few days ago after a similar binge. Mental health help in my area is horrible to non-existent. I've tried to get help several times over the last few years and nothing. I might even be diagnosed with EDNOS. Not, is that ED not otherwise? I feel like it's not otherwise something that's not coming to mind. If I could get adequate help, I don't know. Online sources for eating disorder recovery are slim to none as well. In fact, in my late teens, I think it's supposed to be fell into fat logic because it was so pervasive in ED recovery spaces, both for binging and purging restriction. Ugh, I know it's not Friday anymore, but my ex, who spent 2 years of our long-distance relationship lying about his weight and that he was losing weight, only to show up to my apartment 100 pounds heavier than he claimed to be, is claiming to have lost 12 pounds in 5 days, and it's not water weight because I'm still hydrated. This is, by the way, the same ex I've mentioned who believes wholeheartedly that if he was at a healthy weight, he'd look anorexic, and he's genetically meant to be overweight. If I didn't hate his guts, I'd be fully willing to mention that the fact that he's staying hydrated means it likely is water weight, as it's when you're dehydrated that you retain water, but he's a piece of shit, so I won't waste my time. He can act like he's doing a great job if he wants to. I don't understand why he couldn't have done this in the 2 years he pretended to be losing weight. Not that it would have made a difference to me, considering I dumped him for his shit personality and his belief that no means convince me and keep going. I see his messages because we're in several large Discord servers, and I'm not going to leave my online friend groups completely because of some ass. And someone responded, his scale needs new batteries. Yeah, this sounds like he has more issues than just like a Fatlogic look at his weight. This sounds like he's just kind of an asshole sort of person. I love talking regularly with one of my uncles. He's generally a positive guy, but he loves to tell that my health is bound to go downhill now that I'm getting older, that my energy will go down, that my spouse and I will inevitably lose muscle, etc. I know it's just projection of his experience, but geez, I'm in my late 30s. Why rush to tell me I have one foot in the grave? I'm having a lot of success with lifting weights and some challenges to how I eat, so I actually feel better than I have in a long time. Life isn't just a long slide downhill from some point in your early 20s. Someone responds, I don't get this mentality at all. I'm early 30s. I'm much more sure of myself, what I want, and have the discipline to achieve goals. I'm just getting started. Someone else says, same here, it's all still beginning. And I think that so here's the thing, there is some level of credence to it being difficult to maintain or gain muscle as you get older. It doesn't mean that it's impossible, it's just a little bit harder than when you're younger. But typically, from what I've heard, that starts in your 60s. I could be wrong there. This is very much a general knowledge thing for me that it could very well be flawed. But people that say that, I think, see that you're trying to better yourself and get jealous and feel insecure, and rather than changing themselves, it's much easier to just put you down. It's much easier to make you feel unsure of yourself, and they can think that they can convince themselves that they're like just trying to help you brace yourself when your results don't appear the way you want. But I think they also get confused that not everyone wants like what you see on the magazine of this really buff guy or anything like that. A guy may not be aiming to be a gym bro looking dude, you know? I am working out, and while for a long time I really wanted to be thin, I wanted to work down to where I was a skinny person. As I've been working out, I've actually become much more comfortable with my body. And there's still some things that I would like to work on, and I would still like to lose weight. But I'm not where my number is. What I wanted before versus what I wanted now is just a bit different. Like before, I wanted to get down to like 120, which would still be in the healthy weight range. And it's not. I don't know if I would say it's. I don't think it's unachievable for me, but I don't know that I would have what I want if I was. I don't know if I'd be able to maintain a level of strength that I want at 120. Maybe, I'm not sure, but I'm looking to be more comfortable, keep my energy up, and still lose weight and get down to maybe 140, 150, somewhere around there. That's kind of where my new kind of focus is, rather than trying to get down to the lowest weight possible that I can, because 120 would be at the lower end of a healthy weight. I'm comfortable just getting to the upper end of a healthy weight. I want to be at a healthy weight, but I'm not looking to be model thin. I'm not looking to be seen as conventionally, like, I'm not looking to be seen as skinny anymore, because I've kind of grown fond of just building strength. So it's become far less about aesthetics for me. Let's see. I was eating my lunch, which was a side of corn, a plum, and an apple. My coworker looks at my lunch and says, "That's not food." And I was like, "What? It's corn." "Yeah, that's not food." I think she means it's not a meal, but yo, like, I'm happy with my fruits and veg. Jeez. Her doctor also told her that she needed to lose 50 pounds, so she needs to not talk to me this way. One person says, "If I eat it, it's food." Another person says, "Didn't ask." And then a third person says, "It's corn. It has the lumpy knobs. It has the juice." So the thing is that there are people that just... I had a coworker that just didn't eat during her shift. I generally... Like, so every once in a while, I'll have a bigger meal. It was interesting because I worked on having bigger meals for lunch last week. And it definitely, like, it had some pros and cons to it. Like, I had more energy for my shift and stuff, but then I wasn't as hungry for dinner. I wasn't really hungry at all for dinner. And it felt like the biggest boost of my concentration of the day, which I tend to like after I get home. That's kind of what my dinner is. It's that nice big boost of concentration I get after a meal and a shower, and then I'm ready to concentrate on my own stuff. Uh, didn't come to me the same way. As to where typically what I do is I have a protein bar and a couple handfuls of trail mix, and it ends up being about 400 calories at most, probably closer to 3. Uh, and it's a very light lunch, but I like having a light lunch, being hungry for dinner, and having like a nice, healthy dinner, and then taking my shower and being able to concentrate on my stuff. So it just works better for me to have my biggest meal after I get home from work. This person says, I'm plateauing at 215 and I need to be at 180. I really hate how people are constantly using this as proof that set point theory exists. I can 100% confirm that I have hit maintenance calories because I cannot say no to kind gestures. It's only clear to me now that food used to be the primary way I received affection, and it still holds a grasp on my subconscious. I fucking get this. Oh my god. I have a couple of family members who, I love them very much, but a way that they show that they care and stuff is to bring home treats. And it's been a serious work in progress for me to learn to like deny that. And when like coworkers are like, hey, I brought this in, and they're offering it to me, and it feels wrong to say no thank you. And there's that, so like, I get this so much. It's so hard to say no sometimes, even if you don't necessarily want it. It's so hard to resist partaking in food because it's how most of the people in my life say I love you and thank you. I kind of thought the biggest hurdle in my weight loss was dealing with hunger, not feeling like an asshole for not eating. And someone quotes that last one, says, this is so accurate and an unexpected twist that I didn't see coming. My biggest hurdle is declining food from loved ones. It can be seen as offensive to so many people. Yes. I see this. I understand this 100%. It's difficult. I've learned to just not go into the staff room at either school that I work at because there's a coworker whose child works at a bakery that specializes only in cookies. And so they'll have stuff from the night before, and they give it to the school staff. So they're day old cookies, but they're damn good day old cookies. They have this birthday cake cookie that's fucking fabulous. It's also like 400 calories. And I made the mistake of eating one, not this past week, but a couple of weeks ago. And it threw off my calories for the rest of the day. I had forgotten that I had eaten it until the end of the day and had a second, my sugar intake was through the fucking roof that day. It's like, I've learned to just stay out of the staff room for the work food dangers. And then thankfully my family is starting to head back towards healthier eating themselves, so they're not grabbing stuff as much. And I've learned that when they bring something home, if I've hit my calories for the day or whatever, I'll say, thank you, I'm going to save it for tomorrow. And then I'll like factor it into my calories the next day. Or sometimes I'll say I'll eat it tomorrow, but then it's gone by tomorrow and I didn't have to worry about it anyway. And I think this is going to be the last one. This was going to be a short one. I thought it was interesting, so I just want to explore this real quick. But this, I think, is going to be the last one that I look at for today. I'm so sick of people deprioritizing exercise and good eating habits, not just prioritizing them, but placing obstacles in the way. Absurd office lunches, snacks, drinks, post-work socializing, friends wanting to do dinners after work or brunch on the weekends. I feel like society, I live in the US, assumes that all people are okay not working out, getting fat, and coping with life stress by drinking self-medication. If you want to work out on a daily basis, you are an outlier. People think you're weird or training for some event or tell you don't need to lose weight. It feels like societal gaslighting. No one seems to actually understand why daily exercise is important. I even had a doctor, without any causes or injuries, suggest that my very reasonable workout schedule was too much. It's as much a mental health productivity thing as it is about being physically healthy. I feel like it is just a never-ending battle that should not be this hard. At least this sub makes me feel like I'm not alone. So the one thing, I want to read the response, but I do want to say right here, working out every day, it depends on how hard you're working out every day, I guess, but if the doctor thinks that your schedule might be too much, I'm not saying that you have to change it because you can do you, but maybe just kind of reevaluate. Do you have a day, because I don't know what this person considers a workout, but like you should have a day where you're just kind of stretching. Your body does need recovery time. So everything that I've ever read does suggest having at least a recovery day a week to allow your body to help prevent injury. And I understand that you haven't had injuries yet, but this is about sustainability. And just because you haven't had injuries yet doesn't mean that you won't. So I don't know their workout schedule. I don't know if it really is too much or whatever, but they did mention working out every day. I work out 3 times a week. That works for me, and my job keeps me very active to where I have like 15 to 18,000 steps a day. So on the weekends, I tend to have a much lower threshold. I still try to get to about 10,000, but then I don't really push myself that much harder on Sunday. At least on Saturday is one of my workout days, but on Sunday I do have that day where I'm just kind of allow myself to not push my body too much because I need that rest day. So this response says, I went to a gas station this morning and ran in for a bottle of water. I couldn't help but be struck by the huge display of brownies, cookies, and muffins right by the register. Just above the candy bars, ice cream specials advertised by the register too. They have a smaller cooler with healthy snacks, packaged salads, fruit and cheese plates, etc., but those seem to be the only things they sell that aren't hyper-processed snack foods loaded with salt, sugar, and saturated fat. Is it any wonder that we as a society have gotten so damn fat? It's almost impossible to avoid shit food in this country these days. And I live in an area with a low obesity rate where most people are active and very few people are especially fat. Something needs to change because we're going off the rails here. So I am all for the gas stations to stock healthier food. Now the issue with gas stations like needing to stock healthier food is that we don't, at least in the US, like there can be ones that just don't rotate their stock very well. Like I've seen videos of konbinis in Japan, the convenience stores in Japan, where they have like regular shipments of healthy food every day, so that way things are fresh and good to eat. And I don't know if that's something that could be maintained in the U.S., at least as the U.S. is now. Things need to change, but I think it's more than just putting healthier food in convenience stores. Because you can put the healthy food in the convenience stores, but if it's not regularly rotated out after it expires or restocked, then it's not, people aren't going to gravitate towards it. There's merit in it. I'm not saying that there isn't, but the American way is very much about cheap, fast, and easy. And fresh food is not, especially in convenience store locations, wouldn't necessarily be cheap, fast, and easy. There's a piece to the puzzle that doesn't feel like it's put in place yet for me. But on that note, I'm leaving this here. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me what you thought of this video. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.